If I had to give one tip for how to create almost a foolproof Thanksgiving meal, I would say you're always gonna screw something up. You're trying to do things ahead of time. You don't have a commercial oven space like most chefs, so you're gonna need to be able to cook things and then put them on the back burner. The key to making sure that everything stays at least moist, oh boy, not dried out, is by having a stock on the back of the stove to be able to lace onto your food, to keep it moist, to keep it flavorful at all times. So you wanna make your stock ahead of time, right? And people think stock, like they imagine a sous chef in the kitchen and roasting bones. It's not that difficult. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you different ways to make a stock. Any stock is better than no stock. So we always eat roasted chicken here in the house, and I've got these like roasted chicken bodies. Now look on this right here. You see that gelatin? That's the body of a stock. You want that right there. So I've got this like half-eaten roasted chicken that Lauren bought on discount at 11 o'clock from Ralph's last night. I ate it at 1 in the morning, and we've got this left over. This is gonna be the foundation of our stock. If you don't have a chicken body or you don't have bones, just ignore that part. You can make a veggie stock as well. The key is you're gonna wanna have in there carrots, onions, celery. Mushrooms are great because that's what's gonna give you that umami flavor, that unctuous, deep, earthy, rich flavor in your stock. But don't overthink the cooking process. All I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna chop up all my vegetables. I'm gonna lightly caramelize my vegetables in a sauce pot. I'm gonna throw my roasted chicken parts in there. I'm gonna fill it with water. I'm gonna add garlic, fresh herbs, maybe some bay leaf, black peppercorns, any other spice you want. I'm gonna let it simmer for 45 minutes to an hour, that's it. Strain it and go, and then we're good to go. Then we'll use that stock in stuffing, sweet potatoes, all the other dishes that we're gonna be making. So let's get this going here. I'm just gonna give all the vegetables a rough chop. Whoa, this one's fancy. All right, I gotta stop on this one. I don't wanna cut it up, but something's going on at the carrot factory over here. This is getting a little weird, a little awkward. I feel guilty even holding this carrot. Lauren! So I got my mirepoix over here, or basically my vegetables, my aromatics. I'm gonna throw a good amount of butter into this rondeau, this braising pan. Now I'm gonna caramelize all of my vegetables. That caramelization is gonna add the flavor. That's a key piece of this. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just throw my veggies in there as well. You always wanna season, as you caramelize vegetables, salt them in the very beginning because that salt draws the moisture out and that allows for the caramelization to happen quicker. So there's 3 stages of the caramelization. There's the steaming process, right? That's where they actually start to steam. Then there's the sweating process. That's where the steam is released, but then they're still sweating out their own natural juices. That post-sweating is when you start to get the light caramelization. We're not gonna take this to a deep caramelization, a light caramelization. I'll catalyze the sweating process by covering this, and that allows for it to cook a little bit faster. I'm gonna take my chicken and I'm actually gonna break it down, right? Because the more surface area on the chicken, the more we can actually coax more flavor out of here, right? So I'm just breaking this down into different pieces, making sure that we can get all the flavor out of the chicken. All right, there we go. So now I'm gonna de-lid it. So we've gotten into this light caramelization stage. This is what I like now. Some of the sugars are coming out, richer flavor. I don't want it too caramelized, right? Like I don't want this to taste sweet per se, but I do want some of that, a little bit of that color on there because that's gonna add to the body of the stock. What I'll do now is I'm just gonna add my chicken right in there. Get some of these flavors together. You can even let it cook for a second. The rule of thumb is to go about 2 inches above the bones. I want a little bit more liquid, so I'm gonna hit it with extra water. I'm gonna add my garlic. I use the whole head of garlic. I just break it up and throw it in there. There's actually flavor in between the garlic sheath and the garlic cloves, so I just get all that in there. We're gonna strain this anyway, so it doesn't matter what pieces you get in there. So I talked about bay leaves the other day. Bay leaves aren't bad. A lot of flavor. I only use them really in stocks. So like 1 bay leaf in here is fine. It's gonna add a ton of aromatics to it. This is like a little druggy patch of bay leaves. And I'm a junkie for fresh thyme, so there we go. I'm gonna let it simmer for 1 to 2 hours. You can go as low as 30 to 45 minutes. You're gonna get enough flavor out of it. You don't need to go more than 1.5 hours because you've got enough of the flavor already pulled out from the chicken bones after about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Oh yeah, now that puppy has simmered. Look at that. Oh, this smells like Thanksgiving right here alone. So rich. Because remember, we started with water, right? So see how rich that stock is right there. So now I'm just gonna strain this, right? Like I'm just gonna take this through and strain it into my sauce pot. and then I'm gonna leave this on the back of the stove and just use this for all my Thanksgiving dishes. Now here's the thing. After you strain this, you're left with all these caramelized carrots and onions and celery and whatever else you put in there. I put in the mushrooms, and I've got all this chicken meat and the chicken bones. And a lot of people are just like, oh, I don't want to throw that away. Well, I don't throw them away. I actually add a whole nother round of liquid, and I make another quick stock. It's almost a rinse. So I'll add liquid to it, cover it by 2 inches, which is the standard, and then I'll bring it up to a simmer again, and then I'll strain it immediately. We don't need to coax a ton of flavor out of it at that point. It's really just on the exterior. And when you strain that, it's called a remoulage, and that's a re-wetting. It's French for re-wetting. And then you get a diluted stock, but it's still a stock nonetheless. So that's what I would use if I was making like a bechamel or green beans or something where I don't need to make a gravy or a sauce. I would use that secondary stock, or that remoulage, or a remy is what they call it. So that's essential, and that's a tip that most people don't know about, and it's really important, especially as you're trying to string out your dollar in this Thanksgiving year of affordability. So little tip there. That's what you're gonna learn in Soups and Sauces 101 at culinary school, and the term for re-wetting is remoulage. I'm probably not even saying it right. I probably just ordered a jelly donut in another language.